What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. In today's video, we are doing Nightmare Hydra, and I'm going to show you guys my Nightmare team and my best Nightmare run. We're going to go over it in detail. Let's talk about the team real quick here. I'm going to let it run a little bit for some gameplay action, and then we're going to go over the gear and builds for the team. So first things first, we got Lamasu here in the lead. She is the free champion that you obtain from doing your sieges, winning pieces of her along the way. We also have Incenza here. She brings decreased defense, weaken, also decreased attack, and then an ally attack on her A1 as well. She also has a really cool ability with the Poison Cloud, does a couple buffs, and a turn meter boost on her A2. Very, very cool champion. We have her in the mix as well. We have Marius. He's going to be the main damage dealer here. We have Thor, a secondary damage dealer. He is no slouch. He deals tons and tons of damage, to the point where he's basically either my second or third best Hydra damage dealer. I would say that Ayasu is probably my second or best damage dealer, but for whatever reason, I can't find a team that really incorporates him in, because I want him in with Mikage, but Mikage doesn't really fit into this team that well. Instead, we're running Podrick. Podrick here brings a cleanse. He also brings a little bit of healing, which is really important because otherwise this team has no healing. No leech or anything like that. We have Shemail here. Shemail is here to cover the Head of Torment. Although not super important, I think Shemail could be replaced if you want to run a little bit more risky. He does actually provide some benefit because he boosts the turn meter of Lamasu, which gives basically a reset for Marius to do more damage. Let's run the run here real quick and we'll talk through some of the gameplay here. So we're going to ally attack here into the Head of Decay. So I actually have Shemail built in a provoke set. So he's our only provoker on this team with the ability to provoke. So I do have to have, a little bit of RNG with him provoking the Head of Decay. But he actually deals quite a bit of damage here as well. Obviously not as much as the main damage dealers here. So we got Marius here going to pop off with his triple max hits. And then we have Incenza here boosting the turn meter with her A2 Poison Cloud ability. Also great to bait the Head of Mischief. And Thor comes in with the AoE smack, popping all the heads. And this is where we lay a smack down. So what my strategy is, I like to bring the heads down kind of like together, obviously, and then let the AoE damage dealers try to wipe them all out at the same time. Easier said than done, to be honest. You can kind of see I'm kind of targeting the stronger heads a little bit. We got the reset going on with Marius. I'm ally attacking into the heavier head, but two of the heads spawn at the same time, and we managed to spawn the other two heads at the same time. This is actually an ideal situation because now we have two heads without the Serpent's Will buff. So that's kind of what you want. That's the best case scenario, because if they're all going to spawn at once, then at least you have two heads that don't have the Serpent's Will, so you can deal damage to two of them instead of just one of them. Marius coming in here with the triple hits again. Thor coming in, no slouch. Thor deals tons of damage by himself as well. Really benefits from ally attack. We have two ally attackers, actually. The A1 ally attack from Incenza and then the ally attack from Podrick. Unfortunately, Podrick doesn't bring crit damage boost or anything like that, like Mikage or somebody with the ally attacks, but he's really good because he brings continuous healing, which is something that this team actually needs because there's no leech on this team. He also brings a cleanse, which is pretty good too, right? So here we got the turn meter boost, and then we got the slams. Here we go, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, pretty straightforward here. So we got Shemail here against the Head of Torment. It's just basically boosting the turn meter of Lamasu. So whenever fears pop off, Shemail clears them and then boosts the turn meter of your lead champion, which is Lamasu. Lamasu gets more basically reset abilities. Very, very strong. And then she's just going to reset Marius usually, and then to deal more damage. Sometimes I'll reset Thor if I know that Marius has the A2 ability ready. Then I'll reset Thor, because I don't really want to waste her reset. There you go. Big slams. Look at that damage, guys. 92 million on turn 11. I wish this kept up the whole time. That would be amazing. There's potential here. There's potential here. I was really hoping to get close to 1 billion. 1 billion damage for Nightmare. I think we will one day. We will. That's gonna be the goal. Let's see how close we get this time though. So here's a good spot. Everybody is active. Nobody has a certain wills buff. So you see Shamail there hitting for 400k per hit against the decapped heads. That's really strong. Of course, it's not going to be anything compared to the other damage dealers. Like we just saw Marius hitting for 1 million on one hit versus Shamail. General gameplay for the block buffs is I usually wait until the heads spawn to place the block buffs. So Lammasu does also have decreased speed, but honestly, I don't use the decreased speed too often against the decapitated heads. I just save her decreased speed and her block buffs for when I see some really dangerous heads, like the head of Blight, the Poison Cloud, or the head of Wrath, or the head of Suffering, which they have the reflect damage. Also, I'll time some of my buffs and some of my debuffs mainly if the head of Decay spawns and is not provoked. So you can kind of see here the head of Decay is spawned and he's not provoked. So since he's not provoked, I'm not going to go too crazy on some of the debuffs. Just going to have to wait it out a little bit. Let him cleanse off, and then we'll land the debuffs after if he stays unprovoked, which he probably will be. So you see here, sometimes I use Shamail's like A1 and I'll try to provoke him with one hit, especially if he has a Serpent Wills buff up. See there, he gets the cleanse off. That's okay. Now we'll come back in and start debuffing again. I think we have enough damage that we don't heavily rely on decreased speed nowadays. So I chose not to use the A2 there because I saw Pain Link. I didn't want Podrick to die. He may not have died, but I don't want to take that risk because we don't have a reviver. There we go. We got the provoke off. Now we can just basically do whatever. Really, really strong here. Lammasu with a decreased attack as well. Marius coming in. Big slams. 160 million over 26 turns. We're doing about 6 times. 6 million per boss turn. 6 million per boss turn. Roughly right now. Still early, of course. Could always run into difficulties. So far, no real difficulties. Like when I say difficulties, it's kind of like head of Blight, basically landing the Poison Cloud, which basically shuts down your damage for like 2 turns or 2 boss turns. Actually, more than 2 boss turns, like 8 boss turns or something, because everybody needs to take a turn. But yeah, that's one of the biggest damage sucking like abilities, right? The Poison Cloud ability on all heads. Really, really nasty. Alright, so you see here, I don't really want to use the block buffs decrease speed from Lammasu because he's not, the head of Decay is not provoked. So just holding off for a little bit. Yep, see, I hold off again. There we go. Got a lucky Merciless proc. Then boom, Shamail comes in with a triple hit, provokes. Now we're off to the races. I'll also control Podrick's Terminator boost. So if the Serpent's head are full up with Serpent's Will buffs, so they may, they're not taking any damage, there's really no point in having our team take too many turns, right? So a lot of times I'll control like, the Terminator boosting from Podrick. So that's going to slow down, our team. That's going to give us no increased speed or anything like that. And then like you guys saw, I do control the decreased speed a little bit. So this allows the head to quickly come out of the Serpent's Will buff so that we can continue dealing damage, right? So that's kind of what you want. You see here the Head of Wrath still protected by the Serpent's Will buff, but we have 2 heads. So usually when there's 2 heads active, I'm okay to just, you know, let the damage fly. But yeah, as long as we have, you know, the Head of Decay and the Head of Blight controlled, then usually the runs go super smooth. Even if the buff gets stolen, it's no problem. Yeah, because Marius can, you know, remove the duration, come back, no problem. There we go. All right, cool. So let's fast forward to the end, and we'll talk about the results and the builds for this team. All right, nearing the end of this run, 1,000 turns coming up, 835 million damage so far. Pretty shy of 1 billion, but you know what? I think this team's going to be able to do it one day. A little bit more upgrades, and I think we'll get there with this team. Really happy with this run, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be my best team, right? This is my best team moving forward. And this is my best run ever on Nightmare for the most damage I've ever put out. So really happy about it. Nearing the end of it, just about 850 million damage. Getting all the hits in as I can. And Senza, the A1. And that's going to be another A1 here. Boom, Marius with the A1. All right, so we got 847 million damage. Lamassu doing 48 million damage by herself, and Senza doing 47 million. This is basically straight up from Hex damage. They don't have War Master or any kind of damage in their kit. So this is just from, yeah, it's just from Hex. Marius doing 434 million damage. A lot of this damage comes from being reset most of the time. Also boosted by turn meter boost from Insenza, giving him a lot more extra turns. So he's doing a lot extra damage here. Thor doing 260 million. Definitely no slouch in this department as well. Doing lots and lots of damage. Podrick, 841,000. No War Master or anything like that. And then Shamail here actually doing okay. 52 million without any ignore defense set or anything like that. He's running a provoke set. So that's that's War Master and just damage from gear. So 52 million from Shamail. Actually not too bad, to be honest. Considering he's keeping up with all the Hex damage set wearing champions. Let's check out the builds here for the champ in this team real quick. All right, locked in. Let's check out the champs. First champ up, we got Thor, the mighty Thor man in a 9-piece merciless set, running the crown as the relic. So very fortunate here. I do have the crown. Works super well on somebody like Thor because Thor does plays debuffs, and it stacks up to 30% extra damage here. Attack stat and accuracy stat for Thor works super well. Turns on the gems, whereas crit damage increases by 3% for each debuff they are under. That's fine. It's not a crazy one. I don't have too many triangles, so I just put that in there. Where deals 5% more damage against enemies with full HP. This doesn't happen too often, but sure, on the first hit, not too bad. Extra 5% damage. There you go, total stats. Let's check out the Hydra bonuses as well. 263 speed, 378 crit damage on this Thor. He is 5-star blessed with a 9-piece merciless set, 376 accuracy. For Nightmare, that's more than enough. Nightmare, you need about 330 accuracy. And 7.2k attack. So he's in some pretty decent merciless gear, and he's doing some pretty decent damage. So that's my Thor. Some pieces are a little bit on the weaker side, but I'm going to show you guys each piece individually here. So you're looking for crit rate, crit damage, attack stat, speed, accuracy, those types of stats. See here, speed and crit rate. You got crit rate, attack with ascendant crit damage. And then you got this one, attack, crit rate, speed, accuracy, attack, ascendant HP. So this one could even be stronger with more attack percentage. The boot, you got speed main stat with the attack percentage on the substat as well with crit damage, lots of attack. So this, this ring could be better. It's defense ring, could be better. This one, this is a pretty good amulet, triple accuracy, and then this banner, pretty good banner, to be honest. So that's my Thor. Rock's pretty good, and Nature's Wrath, perfect blessing for somebody like him that lands a debuff. Very strong champion. Helm Smasher as well. Yep, so that's my Thor. Moving on. Here we go. So we got Lamassu here. Lamassu for Hydra, I run her in Merciless Hex. Merciless Hex for Chimera. It's a little bit of a different build, but Merciless Hex, very strong build for Lamassu here. Able to land all her stuff. Let's get the bonuses out for Hydra. 298 speed for Hydra, 4.2k defense, very high defense, 70k HP, 397 accuracy, so that's plenty of accuracy for Nightmare Hydra. No relics, cruelty for the blessing, and Eagle Eye for final mastery. You could take War Master here if you don't need the Eagle Eye, but the support tree actually is pretty good for her, so you could take support, you could take defense. I think support tree is pretty good for her though. So you could take offense, support. Yeah, speed in all battles, aura, very strong. Yeah, she's just great. She enables lots of extra damage from your main damage dealer. So as soon as you get her from the siege, very impactful champion. I know not many people are going to have her. Here you go, Incenza, Void Legendary. Again, not many people will have this champion, but she's actually insanely good. Brings a lot of utility. With the Hydra stats here, 302 speed, 3.6k defense, 60k HP, just under 500 accuracy is not needed for Nightmare difficulty. She is running Hex and Merciless, same build as Lamassu. They do similar things. They both have AoEs under A1. They both have the ability to land Hex very easily. So, you know, it's a great champ to put the curse set on. And yeah, her A1 brings in the champion with the highest crit damage to attack with her. And they will attack the lowest HP enemy. So very strong A1, and then she brings decreased defense and weaken, and she brings the poison cloud buff with the turn meter boost. So she gets more turns out of your damage dealers. Bring cruelty, A1, very easy to apply. Yep, very strong A1. And this is what I'm talking about. Her A2, poison cloud, increased speed, continuous heals, and then the 50% turn meter boost, decreased defense, and weaken on the A3. Very strong champion. Masteries here, Eagle Eye, not important. If you don't need the stats, could go down the War Master if you want. Moving on, so the Marius build here. This is my best 9-piece Merciless set for Marius. 284 speed, 369 crit damage. This is what the Hydra bonus is, by the way. 355 accuracy, 5.6k defense. So pretty strong build for him. Only 2-star blessing, unfortunately. But so, you know, room to grow, right? Room to grow. We do got the Cat's Gaze relic on him for some additional ignore defense damage. Total 16% ignore defense damage with some cool gems. Where the wearer's damage increased by 1% per 100 of the total accuracy. I mean, that's just a little bit of free damage. The wearer's crit damage increases by 3% for each debuff they're under. Again, it's free damage if they're under some debuffs. We don't run any block debuffs on this team other than a cleanse, so definitely can run into situations where Marius does get debuffed, and then wearer deals 10% more damage in dungeon battles. So obviously it doesn't apply here against Hydra, but it's a nice relic stone. Fully booked, of course. Cruelty, I could take something like Heaven Cast for more straight up damage. I eventually changed Marius to Heaven Cast, but in this video I am running Cruelty. We're going to do Helm Smasher here. That's about it. So that's going to be the build. Show you guys the individual pieces here. Got some pretty decent pieces here. Speed, crit rate, crit damage, accuracy, and then defense percentage, of course, if you can swing it. So pretty good build for Marius the Gallant. Coming in here, we got Podrick with 9-piece protection. Pretty good protection set. He does have continuous heals. He does have a bunch of buffs going off. And then, of course, very fast protection set here. Well, not very fast, but pretty fast. 339 with the Hydra bonuses. No relics. Nourish. Why not? Boosting continuous healing. And yeah, Oppressor. I'm sorry, Timely Intervention for support. And then last but not least, we have Shamael. Shmail actually is pretty important for this build, makes it a lot more consistent. Yeah, he's in a provoke set, so he can land the provokes against the head of decay, and then he's in a merciless set, which gives him a little bit more extra A2, so he can deal like a little bit extra more damage. You can see here I got him pretty cranked out. He's a +4 with a 6-star blessing on him. That's right, fully free to play, guys. +4 6-star epics only. Hydra stats here: 222 speed with 325 crit damage. 300 accuracy, not necessary, but occasionally occasionally he will remove some buffs, like some durations, because that's what he needs accuracy for. But occasionally he'll get them to remove. 6.7k attack on Shmail. He can do some damage here. He's in a decent damage stats, but he doesn't have ignore defense, that much ignore defense, right? But yeah, you can see here my amulet is a defense-based amulet, not even a crit damage amulet. And some pieces are not rolled up. I do have this golden elixir on him just because I was running into some issues healing, and then he was the squishiest one, so I just put this on him just to give him a little bit of healing. And I mean, it's a little bit extra stats as well, the golden elixir, you know, extra attack as well. He's got phantom touch on for his blessing, just a little bit extra damage, and then war master here for some extra damage as well. He doesn't really need ignore defense because his A2 after 4 buffs already ignores 100% defense, so you just give him tons of stats. Just tons of stats. So Shmail, very important team member here for the whole team. But yeah, that's good. That's gonna be it. That's the whole team here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it gave you guys some ideas on how to build your own teams. Main thing is for Hydra, you need champions that basically can, increase your speed, decrease your speed. Block buffs, very important. Obviously, decrease defense and weaken are very, very important. But you basically need ways to basically strengthen your own damage dealers and send them in more often. So if you're not running a Trunda team, that runs reset on Trunda, you could run a team kind of like this with just strong damage dealers, and then having your damage dealers take more turns through like resets. Same kind of idea as Trunda. It works, but you're not going to deal as crazy amount of damage. We also have multiple ways to deal more, to get those damage dealers to deal more damage. Like for example, in Senza's A1, sends in the ally with the highest crit damage to attack, and then we have Podrick as well to do the ally attacks. I've seen teams with like 2 full team ally attacks, and obviously sets that enable more damage, like protection sets are really good. So I have Podrick in a protection set here, which is really good. And then obviously, like, if you can run the provoker, that'll be really good. A dedicated provoker would be awesome. But sometimes you just gotta make do, and the provoke set does come in handy once in a while. Merciless set, best set in the game, like for real, like it's probably the best set in the game. Can be used for damage dealers, best set for damage dealers. Can then be used for supports as well. We can see the Merciless set here on Insenza and Lamasu, and it's on Shmail as well as in the support 4-piece as opposed to just damage. So yeah, hopefully you guys got some ideas from this team. Like I said, it's my best team ever and my best run. Here it is one more time, and honestly it's just gonna get better as my Marius gets stronger and stronger with the blessings. The gear gets better, the runs are just gonna get stronger and stronger. So but for now it's really, really strong and good, and I'm really happy with the results. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you guys have any pointers for me? I would love to hear it, of course. Let me know how you guys are doing in your Hydra and how your teams are faring for you guys. Anyways, guys, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate your time as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.